Hey, what's up guys? It's Joe from gadgetrytech.com, and today we're going to review the Accell USB 3.0 docking station. Now, this thing has a few ports on it. On the front you have three USB 3.0 outputs, or plugs, and then a headphone jack. On the back of it, we're going to unbox this real fast. There's a manual. There's the box itself. It's pretty small, and it's actually got some good weight to it, so it feels nice. But yeah, here's the front. You have a little power light, headphone jack, and three USB ports. And these are USB 3.0. The left two are standard USB-A 3.0 ports. The last one that has a little battery symbol actually supports BC 1.2 or battery charging 1.2. So for phones or devices that are compatible, you can do rapid charging on that one port. On the back of it, power cord or power input, there's a power supply. I'll show you that in a second. That's the USB 3.0 cable that will connect to your machine. It does have to be a PC or Windows computer, not Mac. HDMI output and DisplayPort, and then your gigabit Ethernet. Now, this does show that it can run two monitors simultaneously above the 1080p resolution spec. I do also have an Accell DisplayPort to HDMI adapter and a DisplayPort to 3 HDMI adapter. So even though this is only rated to do less than that, we're still going to try to see if you can work your way through doing additional features that it may not directly list. So that is the box itself. Power cord, and it's the same type of power cord or power cable that things like Dell power supplies use or Dell laptop chargers use. This is a little 3-barrel power brick, and as far as power consumption goes, input is 1.2 amps, output is 12 volts at 3 amps, and it looks like a normal laptop port. So if this ever fails, you can get one of those universal Ultrabook power adapters and that'll still work. USB 3.0 cable is included. It's obviously a little bit shorter because I think the intent of this is for a laptop, otherwise you'd have a full graphics card. So, looks like just over a foot, maybe 18-inch cable. And this little key, I thought was kind of interesting. I guess it's good because you can put it on a keychain for travel. So I think that's the intent behind it. But this is actually the flash drive that has the drivers to make this thing work. I want to point out now, do not plug this into your computer without first installing the driver. It says that all over the manual. So make sure you read it, but if you don't do that, then it might install some generic drivers. It'll prevent the device from working correctly, and that becomes an issue when you try to then install the driver after the fact because of date conflicts and stuff like that. So we're going to go through the driver installation process. We'll show you how that looks, and then we'll actually set this up and see how it performs on the monitors. So stay tuned. Okay, so now we're going to install the drivers for the Accell USB 3.0 docking station. This is what you see when you first insert the flash drive and double click it to explore the contents. There's release notes, a user guide, which is basically the PDF version of what the manual is that come in the box. So if you double click this setup.exe, you will see this license agreement. We're going to scroll through and accept this. Let's see. No rights or licenses, blah, blah, blah. So let's hit accept. Cool, it's passed the compatibility check, so that's a good thing. You don't waste your time installing something that may not work. We're going to hit install. Hopefully this goes pretty quick. This is a USB flash drive plugged into a computer on a USB 3.0 port, and I do have an SSD on it. So, yeah, we'll just stand by. Connect your DisplayLink device to configure the DisplayLink graphics for first use. Let's do that. Okay, so I just plugged in the USB docking station's power supply, and now we're going to plug in the USB cable to the computer. That detected pretty quickly. It's on the final setup now, and look at that, it's good to go. So we're going to restart the computer. We'll come back and actually connect it to some monitors and see how well everything works. Alright, so now that we've installed the drivers for the docking station, we're going to try to connect it a few different ways. So we have an HDMI monitor, HDMI television, Here's 3 HDMI cables. I also have a couple adapters to utilize the display port on this and also split the display port signal, all using Accell equipment. That way we can kind of find out what we can and cannot do. So let's start with hooking up a single monitor. Let's make it this one, why not? So I'm going to plug this in right now. Should see some screens flickering. Yep, that one flickered. There we go. So, and the good news is there is no noticeable difference in picture quality. Everything is just as sharp on the bottom here, which is excellent. So this hub is doing a good job of outputting a clean signal with HDMI. So the next thing we're going to do is connect a DisplayPort adapter that turns this DisplayPort into an HDMI and see if I can simultaneously power a second monitor using the other plug. So let's do that now. This is the Accell DisplayPort adapter. It's a full-size DisplayPort to HDMI. We're going to open this guy up. There you go. So that's connected. Now we're going to power this top monitor and see how that goes. Flickering a couple times, and there we are. So I have this hub going off of USB 3.0 from the tower. There's a HDMI cord. I think I jiggled it. There we go. This wire is not the best. HDMI out to this screen, DisplayPort to HDMI out to this screen. So if you do have two monitors that are HDMI and you want to use this one box, one option is to, and the most cost-effective option, is to buy this Accell DisplayPort adapter, and that's DisplayPort 1.2 to HDMI 2.0. So that does work. Now the last thing we're going to try to do will take me an extra minute to plug in, but it'll take that single DisplayPort and give me 3 HDMI outputs to see if we can power 3 monitors at the same time, even though this says it does not support it. Might as well try it anyway. So this is the Accell Ultra AV DisplayPort 1.2 to HDMI multi-display adapter. In case this does work, I think it's important to note the model, and that's DP 1.2 space 1X3 HDMI hub. The model number specifically is K0888-008B. So let's give this a shot. Alright, so I just plugged in this hub for power. Now I wanted to make note of this first. This isn't a power cord. This is a power cord. So keep in mind if you're traveling and this does work, or if you just have to plan for power outlets, etc. These require additional outlets, so you might want to factor in that when you're looking at surge protectors or any kind of power supply options. So let's plug this in. I'm going to disconnect all the monitors, plug this one adapter in after it's had a second to figure out what's going on. There, so that's plugged in. So now we're going to start with that top screen. HDMI, I don't think it matters which order, but let's start with one. And it's working. So the hub is working at allowing me to run my first screen. So there we go. So that's up and running. Let's fire up this bad boy. Be cool if this does allow me to do it, but we'll see. Okay. HDMI no signal, so we might be SOL. Let's try jiggling this because I know the wire is not the best. Okay, so that does not work. We're going to try a different one. I'm going to do the HDMI to the television. And it says not supported on the television. So, we did confirm what the manual says. Good to know it's not lying, but wishful thinking, right? So the outputs the DisplayPort does not allow you to split the signal with 2 devices simultaneously. If you want to run 2 monitors at the same time, the only way to do this is to run a DisplayPort to HDMI adapter, which is the Accell, let's see if this has a part number I can quickly find, the B086B-011B. This adapter will allow you to run multiple screens off this one hub. So if you have a laptop with a built-in screen, you can indeed use the laptop screen its external monitor output in addition to running this, because this doesn't require the video card to support multi-monitor. This is doing that for you. So that screen should come up in a second here, and it did. Now we're going to power up this top one again. So just to confirm one more time with a different screen setup, and look at that, that was a little glitchy. There we go. So it booted up, no problem. Now again, it's not just used as a monitor splitter, otherwise you would just have that other box I showed you earlier. This is a hub, so you have audio out, 3 USB ports, then you have the Ethernet jack in the background. Okay, so I'm using this to charge my Pixel phone as well, and that about wraps up this hub. It works, you know, there's not a lot of crazy gimmicks to it. It does exactly as it describes. You get 3 USB ports in the front, supports multi-monitor as you can tell. Headphone output jack, and gigabit Ethernet. So if that's all you're really looking for, it gets the job done, and I do like the fact that it's extremely compact. However, the only way to make it work is with an external power supply, so factor that in, that you do need to plug something into the wall as well. It's not passive. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next time, and we'll be sure to answer any questions you guys have. Shoot us a comment below, and thanks for watching. Take care.